Hello everyone, thanks for joining our webinar on Meet Qt 5.12. If you have any questions during the session, please submit them by the Q&A button at the top of the interface. Those questions will be answered at the end. This webinar will also be recorded and you will receive a copy of it delivered to your email account. Hope you enjoy. And now I'll hand you over to our experts, Lars Knoll, CTO at the Qt company, and Tuukka Turunen, Senior Vice President R&D at the Qt company. Over to you guys.
Thank you, and good morning or good evening, everybody. My name is Lars Knoll. I'm the CTO of the Qt company, and I'll be giving you the first half of this presentation, talking about Qt 5.12, the long-term supported release. And then Tuukka will be talking about tooling-related things in the second half of this presentation.
Hello.
To give you a quick overview over the presentation and the outline, what we're going to be talking about, I'll start off with a little bit of a recap of our mission statement and what we're trying to achieve, moving forward with Qt. Then talk concretely about the Qt 5.12 LTS release on the framework side, what has happened, with the Qt itself and the frameworks, what kind of new functionality do we have, and other things related to that. Tuukka will then take over and talk about the tooling, what we have, what kind of new tools do we have, what's in Qt, the new versions of Qt Creator, Qt Design Studio, and Qt 3D Studio. And then also finish off with talking a bit about Qt for WebAssembly and Qt for Python. And after that, at the end, as you already heard, we'll have a bit of time for questions and answers, which you can submit to the Q&A section in the webinar. Okay, but let's get started with the mission. What are we really trying to achieve, and what have we been working for over the last couple of years? What we're seeing is that there's an increasing trend and an increasing demand for software being developed. If you look at the IoT space as an example, but many of those things also relate in other areas, we are seeing that there are more and more people and companies that want to create connected devices, and the number of those devices is going up almost exponentially. At the same time, the amount of developers that are available, to create those tools and devices is growing relatively slowly, and that means that there's an increasing gap of between those amount of software that needs to get written and the amount of developers that are available to do the work. To be able to overcome that gap, we see it as our mission to provide you with tools and frameworks that make this easier, that simplify writing that software that you need to create those devices or applications on the desktop or on mobile devices. This is really our mission. This is what we've been trying to achieve there by adding functionality to our frameworks, but also by adding more functionality to our tools, adding more tools that help you create those applications. And you'll hear quite a bit about that, what we've been doing, the things we've been doing to help integrate designers into that workflow. But let's start off with Qt 5.12. Qt 5.12 has been released last week. It's our third long-term supported release after Qt 5.6 and Qt 5.9. So we're establishing a nice rhythm here that every third release that we're doing is a long-term supported release. This LTS promise implies that we will be updating you the 5.12 with patch level releases, with bug fixes for 3 years to come. In this case, this means until approximately the end of 2021. Let's have a look at what's inside. To start off with, we have been doing a lot of bug fixes over the last years. And just to give you an impression of how many things that have gone in, we've been looking up the numbers and comparing it to Qt 5.6 and Qt 5.9, our previous long-term supported releases. Since the last release of Qt 5.6, 5.6.3, we have fixed and closed more than 5,000 bugs in Qt. And we have added, and committed 29,000 commits. It's a lot of work that has gone in. into Qt to improve it, to add new functionality, and to fix bugs. Since Qt 5.9.7, numbers are a bit smaller, of course, since it's a later release, but still, more than 2,000 bugs have been fixed, and we have 12,000 commits that went into our repositories to improve Qt. And let's not forget, Qt 5.12 is only starting now. We will have many more releases of 5.12 to come that will fix more bugs, hopefully improve performance in some areas, and in generally further improve the quality of 5.12. Here's a little bit about how our release schedule was for the last years. You see 5.6 at the top, which we have released in 2016, and which is now getting close to the end of its lifetime. So if you are still on 5.6, you should really start considering an upgrade to a newer version of Qt. I would then recommend to go all the way to 5.12 and not go to 5.9. If you're on 5.9, you still got a bit more time considering that upgrade. But also there, 5.12 might have a lot of good things to offer for you that you might consider doing that upgrade. As always, standard premium support is available for the supported versions, which is at this point in time 5.6 for another 3 months, 5.9, 5.11, and 5.12. And if you need longer support on older versions, an extended support option is available from the Qt company. Let's go a bit into the features and what we've been doing with Qt 5.12. The first larger change we've been doing that I want to mention is on the Unicode support. With Qt 5.12, we have done a significant work to upgrade all our Unicode-related support data and algorithms to the latest versions. We've updated the Unicode character data to Unicode 10. We've updated to also the latest version of the CLDR, Common Language Database repository, which has all the localization data like weak names and these kind of things. And updated all the Unicode-related algorithms like text segmentation, line breaking algorithms, and the bidirectional text handling for left to right Arabic Hebrew text. So with that, we are confident to say that we have a very, very good internationalization support now with Qt 5.12. A major upgrade here, where in some areas we've been, with Qt 5.9, 5.10, 5.11, lacking a little bit behind on older versions of the Unicode standard. We've done quite a bit of work in Qt Core and Network. Qt Core got a couple of new features. We added CBOR support in Qt Core. CBOR is an abbreviation for Concise Binary Object Representation. You can think of it a little bit like a binary version of JSON on steroids, something where you have a JSON-like object tree structure, but you can extend it with your own data types, and it's binary encoded. But it is a standard and it's widely supported in the industry. So very good functionality, something that you might want to consider using instead of JSON in the future. And other smaller changes, like some extensions to QRegular expressions, where we've added wildcard matching. We started using that more in Qt. And we're preparing, doing preparation work here to move fully away from the old QRegex class that we've had since Qt 3 times in the future. QRegular expression is much more performant and feature complete than QRegex is. So if you're still using QRegex, start moving over to a QRegular expression now. In Qt Network, we've added support for DTLS, Datagram Transport Layer Security, great new feature. And we've done lots of work in the platform APIs to support, for example, ALPN and HTTP2 on macOS, iOS, on Windows runtime, macOS, iOS. We have now support for PKCS8, and we have a new Q password digester namespace that has a couple of functions that help you handle key derivation functions for passwords. Some work in Qt GUI has also happened. We've added, most notably, support for 64-bit image format, something that has been long requested from our users. If you're doing high-quality image manipulation, in many cases, you really want an image format with 16 bits per color channel. You can read them from PNG and TIFF and upload to and grab them from OpenGL. We've added support for web gradients, something where you can very simply create a Q brush and then set a standard predefined gradient on it based on an enum. You can see a couple of those on the right-hand side in the image. They're nicely tuned, beautiful, and very easy to use and integrate into your applications. On Windows, we've done quite a bit of work to unify the input handling between tablets, touch screens, touchpads, and mouse input. And it's based on the Windows Pointer Input Methods API and gives you, for example, also better support, built-in support for the Microsoft Surface tablets. We've also been actively maintaining the Qt Widgets module and pushing it forward. We've been doing a lot of bug fixes in there. We're ramping up further to do more bug fixes in this module as we move forward in the Qt 5.12 series. We've also done a couple of smaller API additions, but in general, we consider the module as feature complete. So it's really about maintenance and bug fixing for you. One new thing that has come in is that we've completely rewritten under the hood the accessibility support on Windows. And it's now based on the Windows UI automation framework, which gives you much better accessibility support, but also lets you programmatically and from the outside control the state of your user interface, which is something that's very nice also for testing. And we've done, with Qt 5.11 already a couple of significant enhancements to the printing support on Linux. QML and Qt Quick is an area where we're always doing quite a bit of work, and a couple of new things have appeared there with Qt 5.12. We've done a lot of smaller API additions to the Qt Quick controls too. Something I will not mention in details, but go and check them out. There are a lot of new nifty new features and smaller functions in there. We've done some larger features that I'll come back to you in detail in a couple of slides. We've added ECMAScript 7 support to the QML engine. We have a full set of Qt Quick input handlers as a new technology that's now fully supported. And we have a new Tableview control for you. And already in Qt 5.11, we've added things like a shapes plugin, actions, and menus to the Qt Quick controls. But before we go into the features that we've done, there are a little bit of a side step towards performance and memory usage. This has been a focus area for us throughout Qt, and I wanted to give you a couple of examples of what we've been doing there over the last years. These examples come from the QML and Qt Quick side, but we have done similar improvements, for example, in Qt 3D and in a couple of other areas of Qt. Here you can see, for example, the memory usage of the QML engine itself and how that has been developing over the Qt releases. While we've been using almost a bit more than 35 megabytes of memory in Qt 5.6, we have gotten that down to around 13 megabytes for Qt 5.12. Please remember, in Qt 5.6, in the open source version, you didn't have a Qt Quick compiler. In 5.12, the pre-compiled QML support comes with every version, both the open source and the commercial version. So that's a very significant decrease. But even if you had in 5.6 support the Qt Quick compiler, we have still lowered the memory that we're using quite a bit. We've done also work on improving the performance. We have a QML bench. That's a benchmark that we're using to benchmark our QML engine and the creation and destruction of QML items and other things. And you can see that we have achieved a 14% speed up there from 5.6 to 5.12. Most of the step forward was between 5.6 and 5.9. But still a slight improvement also towards 5.12. And we've done quite a bit of work also on the JavaScript performance. And you can see that here, where we have, you know, a nice step between 5.9 and 5.12, around 13% speed up there. But if you look at ARM 64-bit, you know, you are seeing a much larger increase there because 5.6 didn't support any jitting on ARM 64. So we have a factor of 4 improvement. Okay, let's move back to the features that we have in Qt 5.12. One of the first things to highlight on the QML engine side is that we've added full support for ECMAScript 7 into the QML engine. As you know, the QML engine contains the full JavaScript engine. Up until Qt 5.11, the support was limited to ECMAScript 5, something that was starting to feel a bit old. The standard is a couple of years old. And so we've done a larger push there to update this to a new and more recent version of ECMAScript. And we've reached full compliance with ECMAScript 7. That allows you to use many of the modern JavaScript constructs with QML, supporting everything that's in ECMAScript 7, block scopes, let, for off loops, arrow functions, destructuring, generators, promises, even ECMAScript modules are supported, and many other things. We see this as a large stepping stone. The difference from ECMAScript 5 to 6 was a huge step. And now ECMAScript is bringing out relatively regular releases with smaller steps. ECMAScript, the current standard is at version 8, something that we are planning to upgrade to in some of the next minor releases of Qt. We've done a lot of work on Qt Quick to give you better support for how to handle input. The new Qt Quick input handlers, they were previously named pointer handlers as a technology preview in previous versions of Qt, are completely redesigned way to handle input by attaching certain handlers, like a drag handler or a key handler, a pinch handler, tap handler, to your QML item. And you can attach any handler to any item. And with that, have a much more flexible and unified way to handle keyboard, touch, and mouse input. It's a great new feature. I'd really recommend you to try it out, give us feedback, see what works, and it will give you a lot more flexibility, especially when you have more complex input cases where you, for example, need to put certain touch handlers or mouse handlers, nest them within each other, or put them into flickables. Use cases that usually in the past sometimes had a little bit of problems in how those handlers would interact with each other. We also have a completely new table view. It was one of the last missing controls that we needed for Qt Quick. We had for a while a table view component in Qt Quick Controls 1, but that had a lot of problems in terms of performance and how it worked. So this is now something we're really happy with, where we've written this table view with a focus really on performance and on scalability for large data sets. It's very easy with it to visualize any table model. It inherits flickables, so you can flick through it, and you can easily customize it with your own delegates. You can do custom row heights and column width and many other things. And so with that, completely tune how the table is represented visually on the screen. We've done quite a lot of work on asset conditioning, meaning optimizing assets, especially graphical assets at compile time for a certain hardware. This is especially important if you are using embedded devices. And with that asset conditioning support that we now have, you can create, for example, compressed textures at compile time and use those instead of PNGs. This significantly reduces memory consumption and speeds up application startup. We have support now for the most common container formats, PKM and KTX, as well as ETC1, ETC2, and EAC compressed textures. We've also done a lot of work on Qt 3D. The first and most important thing is to notice is that the Qt 3D Studio runtime, and Tuukka will talk about the Qt 3D Studio application a bit later on in this presentation, is now also based on Qt 3D. The first version of that runtime was something standalone, a standalone runtime that didn't integrate very well with Qt. The runtime now being based on Qt 3D means that you get a lot of the Qt functionality for free. For example, very good text, internationalized text handling, and many of the other things that you are used to from Qt. We've done lots of work there to reduce the CPU usage when you're not running any, when the no animations are running, especially added support for OpenGL ES 3.1 and making use of that, and a lot of performance improvements in the renderer to make it faster. In addition to that, there have been a couple of smaller API additions and quite a lot of bug fixes. Another feature that falls into the optimize at compile time bucket, so it's related to the asset conditioning I've been talking about earlier, is a new feature in 5.12, which is pre-generating distance field caches for fonts. Distance fields are special texture that we are using in Qt to do very fast text rendering on the GPU. The advantage of distance fields are that they lead to very scalable fonts, and we can very quickly render text at any size. With Qt 5.12, we have now added a tool that makes it possible to generate those distance fields for font file ahead of time during compilation, which significantly reduces the startup time of your application when using complex fonts. It also makes it easier to share those textures when you're using multiple processes. Generating those distance fields for every glyph, every character in the font can be computationally expensive, at least for complex fonts like very scriptical Latin fonts or Asian fonts. And as you can see from the numbers, this can lead to a very large improvement in terms of startup time. In the examples where we've measured here on an IMX6, you can see that for a complex Latin font or an Asian font, the startup time was decreased by almost a second using those pre-generated distance fields fonts. We've also taken a few modules now out of text preview. Qt WebGL streaming plugin has been available for 2 or 3 Qt versions now. It's basically a technology that uses WebGL to stream the user interface into any browser. It works especially well for Qt quick-based user interfaces since those are rendered through OpenGL. We take the OpenGL command stream and stream it out over a link into any browser. And you can use any modern browser that supports WebGL to load the user interface of your application. This is a very nice feature if you have a headless device that you want to give a user interface and that you can connect to easily from the local network. Qt Remote Objects is now also fully supported. The Qt Remote Objects is a cross-platform solution for inter-process communication in Qt applications. What it allows you to do is to expose Q objects in the interface of Q objects to any other projects on the same system or over the network on a remote system. And you expose with it the signals and the slots and the properties of those Q objects, and can easily use them from another process and basically connect to them, receive the signals, invoke slots, or modify the properties. We've done a lot of work to improve our Qt Virtual Keyboard. Currently, we're supporting 48 languages, and since Qt 5.9, we've added over 20 new languages to it. Since Qt 5.12, we also now have a public extension API that allows you to write your own keyboard on top of the virtual keyboard and create your own keyboard layout for your own use cases. We have now dictionary support for learning using Handspell. And of course, the virtual keyboard is something that runs on your embedded device. It supports both Qt Quick and widget-based applications. In 5.12, we've also added, as a larger new feature, an integration with ECMAScript, which is a very high-quality handwriting recognition engine that supports more than 60 languages. We've had some other handwriting engines supported in the past, Nuance T9 and Lippy. Both Lippy is open source, but it's English only. So with ECMAScript, you get support for the 60 most common languages of the world and handwriting recognition for those. A couple of other new features that we're having now in Qt is that the Android toolchain that we're having is now Clang-based. That's good because Android and Google is moving over to a fully Clang-based toolchains in the newer SDKs. This allows us now to move up to a very new SDK on Android and gives you the support that's needed there. Web Engine got updated to Chromium 69, a rather recent Chromium build. And we've added a little bit of new functionality there by exposing web actions to QML and adding support for SSL client certificates. Qt Location got a couple of smaller API additions and a larger update to the Macbox plugin, giving you much better performance and a more complete feature set. And then we have a couple of smaller things like on Qt Serial Bus, a CAN bus simulation plugin. And there's lots and lots of other smaller items all over Qt that have been improved. Finally, we've also deprecated a couple of things in Qt 5.12, and they are currently still available, still supported, but we are deprecating them and they will be considered for removal in subsequent releases of Qt. The first one of those is Qt Quick Controls 1. We recommend everybody to update and use Qt Quick Controls 2 now, today. We've also deprecated Qt Canvas 3D as something that we've experimented with and that we've seen that very few of our users actually took into use. And of course, Qt Script, which has been deprecated since quite a while in 5.5. We're now doing actively more work in putting some API gaps that we're still having into Qt QML so that the JavaScript engine in there, that's much more modern and more performant, has a good enough C++ API so that you can use it as a replacement. With deprecation, we mean that the functionality will no longer be maintained by the Qt company. Of course, I mean, since Qt is developed as an open source project, others can pick up things and can still help and continue to develop those modules. And they are being provided to keep things working, but we will consider removing them in a future release. And usually there's then a better alternative method available that you should be taking into use. So that basically sums up the parts on the framework. And with that, I think I can hand over to Tuukka, who will now walk you through things on the tooling side and our new platforms with Qt for WebAssembly and Qt for Python. Tuukka, where are you?
Yes, hi. Sorry. Yeah, here I am. Was trying to find the mute button, which I have now located successfully. So hello and good evening also from my part. I'll be talking about the tools, starting from Creator, and then a couple of other points that we have coming with the Qt 5.12. A reminder for the questions. So at the end, we should have time for questions and answers. So I see already some questions in there. Please, you can start typing them. Also for the part that Lars was covering already, if you have questions, we can then discuss those at the end. So, Qt Creator. Let's start with Creator 4.7, which was released in August, because of course the 4.8 that now comes with 5.12 contains all the features that 4.7 contained as well, and these couple of them are quite relevant. Very important one is that now the Clang-based code model is default. This change took a while for us to do, and it was also something that took our time away from other feature development, but now we will be able to benefit from being Clang-based, and 4.7 already added Clang Tidy and Glazy for code analyzing as a quite handy tools that are provided by the Clang toolset. There are also few other features, for example, zooming into the flame graph items of Profiler and being able to run tests under cursor directly from the editor, as well as some other improvements in Creator 4.7. Then in Creator 4.8, which was released together with 5.12, we added support for new languages using the language server protocol standard. This is quite a big thing. It might not sound very interesting or very big, but it actually is, because the language server protocol standard already has support for a really large number of different languages. Here in the picture you can see SVG highlighted, but this also brings support to languages like Python, which is quite relevant for Qt, as we'll be talking later on, as well as languages like GLSL and for the shaders, which is very relevant for 3D Studio, and many others. So this is a big thing that 4.8 added. Another very important feature is that we can now support multiple simultaneous debugger sessions. Then we also support importing and exporting of compilation databases of Clang, which is a very handy feature, for example, for CMake users. And there's also a possibility of changing the default editors in MIME type settings and multiple smaller improvements there. So we are releasing 3 releases of Creator every year, so every 4 months, which means that we bring gradual improvements quite often to the users. And then there's of course patch releases in between for stability. So that was Creator, our IDE. Next, a few words about the Qt Design Studio. Released in October, the first version. This brings the Design Studio brings improvements for the designer developer workflow. It's built on top of Qt Creator and extends the existing Qt Quick Designer that we have been having for multiple years already. What you can do with Qt Design Studio is to basically take Qt QML UI to real devices really quickly. Of course, for those who are developers using Qt, this is something that is very normal. That's what you do with Qt Creator. But if you are a designer working with the design tools, this is something very new and very valuable, that it's done so easily. With the Qt Design Studio, you can also import assets from graphical design tools, initially Photoshop, later on Sketch. I'll have a slide about that coming up. And you also save time from basically the automatic generation of QML code based on your design is done. We offer custom component styles, guidelines, and similar to help create consistent UIs across multiple designs for your company, and also a timeline for animations. Here's a screenshot of Design Studio 1.0. Now, for those who have been using Creator and the Qt Quick Designer, it looks quite familiar. It has a timeline view added, and in the smaller screen that is there is a live preview. And what is the benefit of the live preview is that when you design you can immediately see every time you have done one change into the design, you can immediately see it in the live preview. You can run the live preview on the host, but you can also run it on an embedded target device or a mobile. And it still updates all the time as you design. There have been other live previews before. Back in the Nokia days, there was one created and there's been some others. This one is completely re-implemented and it uses debug bridge functionality to really update seamlessly the designs. There's overall the UI we have been trying to make more designer friendly. We've been studying design tools and looking into how those tools do things. We have been talking to designers and trying to understand how things should be. I already mentioned that now initially we support Photoshop import. Next we are looking into Sketch. There are also other tools used from which the importing can be done. And then the timeline is something that we have added also to Qt Quick as a support for animations in 5.12. And the timeline editor can be used for creating animated Qt Quick. And finally, of course, this is interoperable with Qt 3D Studio, although still separate tool. When you have a 3D item, you can see them in the Design Studio. And similarly, in the Design Studio, you can see QML items. So moving on next to the Qt 3D Studio. So here's a screenshot of the Qt 3D Studio. It's a scene editing tool for dynamic 3D user interface creation. In the middle, you can see a 3D model that has been imported there. And then on the left-hand side, top, there's a picker for standard objects, or you can, in the same space, you can have a picker for UI states or slides. At the right-hand side, you can see the project assets picker, which has been quite a lot improved in the 2.2 version. And then on the bottom right, a place where you can select properties and actions. And then on the bottom, a timeline editor with layers, quite similar to the Qt Design Studio. One of the key items for 2.2, in addition of new features, of course, has been the performance improvement and also providing tools for users to improve performance of their own applications. So there's a live profiler integrated into the Qt3D-based Qt3D Studio runtime, which allows you to see basically everything what the scene does and information about how much memory it uses, how much resources it uses, and things like that. We have also provided optimizations and control over the content loading and startup time with the Studio 2.2, as well as support for texture compression. And there is also a technology preview of completely redesigned rendering pipeline coming with Studio 2.2, and we expect to move on top of this new rendering pipeline with the Studio 2.3 release in March. We have also been working on the low-end hardware support, studying what kind of compromises need to be done to run efficiently on a low-end hardware like Renesas D3, what kind of optimization needs to be done to the staders, materials, and content, and of course also optimizing the runtime, especially the new rendering pipeline for seamless running also on devices that have limited hardware resources. The key features of 3D Studio in the editor, the one quite important one is the scene camera view, which is detachable. So you can view your whole view, and then you can also take a dedicated view and you can zoom in. You can see in detail on that while you still have the whole view of the application existing. There's work was done for or has been done for the asset management optimization, providing standard KTX containers as well as texture compression support for the 3D Studio runtime. We have also been improving on the material handling, so there's a possibility of dragging and dropping material directly from the project assets into the design, as well as a lot of improvements to how the materials are imported from Maya 3D Max and those tools. The developer API has been extended in the 2.2 version, for example, providing better control for the QML API. And there is a technology preview for stereoscopic rendering feature, which is needed for virtual reality, augmented reality applications. And finally, the Studio 2.2, that is what we are trying to get out within a week, is based on Qt 5.12 LTS. And as you remember, Lars was showing quite many performance benefits of Qt 5.12. Those are, of course, all benefiting the Studio applications as well. And we also have Linux binaries available with Studio 2.2. Linux has been working already before, in addition of Mac and Windows, but we didn't have pre-built binaries yet with the Studio 2.1. Now we have them, like we have for our other tools. So that's a good news for those who run these things on Linux. Moving on, how are we on time? Yes, we are quite good. So Qt for WebAssembly. We could provide a second technology preview with 5.12. At the moment, all the key browser engines are committed to support WebAssembly, and this makes it a perfect new platform for Qt-based applications. Running Qt applications in the browser, providing a zero install experience. Basically, only thing that needs to be done by the developer is to build with Qt for WebAssembly, and then place the application bundle into a standard web server. And then when the user connects, this is downloaded and the application is runs in the browser. So there's no need to transfer anything through the network, except if while the application is running, except if, of course, if the application itself transmits something through the network. There are still some performance differences between browsers. Firefox is quite good. Chrome is also improving, so the direction is right. There's a link to a demo if you want to try it out with your browser. Screenshot is from May, but the demo still exists there. And we will be continuing to develop the Qt for WebAssembly functionality so that it will eventually be fully supported feature of Qt. But we are already now very eager to hear feedback on it, so that we can finalize the platform. Then the final topic of today, Qt for Python, which is also coming with Qt 5.12. So somewhere within a week. So this was not yet available at the time of Qt 5.12 release, because it takes some time to build the Python bindings from Qt. But this is something that work has been done for a really long time, so that it can be a feature of 5.12 as a fully supported one. But why Python? Some of you who have been with Qt long remember that we did many years back, we did Java bindings, Qt Jumpy. That wasn't very popular and has been since for many years no longer further developed. But why do we believe situation is different for Python? Is that although Python is very powerful and very popular language, there hasn't been that many good solutions for having a user interface for Python. And now with Qt entering the picture, this of course is changing. Using Qt for Python is really simple. So you basically just use the regular pip and you install Python, or Qt for Python or PySide 2, and then you will be able to write your applications with Qt for Python. We are supporting Python 2.7 as a legacy support, and then newer versions since starting from Python 3.5 onwards. We have a generator called Shipoken that generates the CPython. And then with this approach, basically almost everything from Qt can be used from Python. So it's much more than just the UI. We offer bindings to pretty much everything in Qt. There is a webinar coming later this week on the 13th about develop your first Qt for Python application. So I recommend this if you are interested in hearing more about Python. This is a good opportunity to dig into that. And for what I'm understood is that it actually is so that during this webinar, you will be able to develop a complete application. So there's quite a lot of live coding involved. And then of course, also some briefing about the basics of Qt for Python as well. So that was it. Also from my part, and we are right on time with about 15 minutes to go for questions if we have those. So we have a couple of them. If you have more, please start typing. So I'll read one of the questions, and that was about the can we get the webinar afterwards? Yes, this will be later stored as an on-demand webinar, and all the registered persons will have also link to the recording as well as the slide deck, link to the slide deck, and then also there will be possibility for also those who haven't been registered, it will be in the resources.qt.io available later on. Lars, do you want to pick some of the questions as well?
Of course, I can do that. Here, the first question that came in is actually a very technical one. How much memory per font does the pre-cache, the distance field cache that I've talked about, take on a GPU? There's no simple answer there. What I can, because it depends on how many, how big the font is, how many glyphs it contains. If you think about a simple Latin font, that one usually has around, let's say, 100 to 150 glyphs. You can think it's probably around, the same amount in kilobytes. So what we do there is we basically, create a large texture containing all the glyphs that we needed, and you can also choose, to select only those that you need in your font. So you can reduce that quite a lot. But in general, you can, as a rule of thumb, around a kilobyte per glyph that's required. But then we can render that in any size.
I can answer one. There was a question about when. This is an easy one, so picked it on for my turn. So the PySide 5.2 wheels when it's out, so within a week. So it will be quite soon. So there's work ongoing to test that all the bindings are in place, and then you should be able to download it. I would guess that they probably hope to do it by the webinar, so on 13th, but that's just my guess. But pretty soon, anyways, you will have it fully out.
Mm-hmm. Then a question on Qt Creator, whether Creator will include wizards for other project languages along with the language server extension. Yes and no. It will it will contain wizards for Python actually, and we will have this Python support that we're doing is going through the language server extensions. But as far as I know, we don't have too many other wizards at this point in time available. That's maybe something for the future.
Then there's a question about the Design Studio. That is there a way to push changes made in QML back to Photoshop? So the answer is directly no. However, there is a round tripping in that way that you can configure the Design Studio bridge in the Photoshop in such way that when you have created your named your layers and assets according to what you are then later using in your application, it will allow very seamless round tripping, so that whenever you do a new change in the for the graphics assets in the Photoshop, you will then see them in the Design Studio. And if you do then changes in layouts, those you will need to basically provide as properties in the tool. So and then of course the graphics asset is something that you handle in the Photoshop as well.
Okay, then I think there's a question about table headers regarding probably the table control. I'd have to say I'd need to look that up myself. I don't quite know. No, but I think there was a way to create those, but I'm not 100% sure how that works at this point in time.
Then there's a question about, is Qt for Python ready for IoT? So yeah, should be. Why not? IoT, of course, being quite large term as such, but if you think about making connected applications, definitely that's very well fit. And also embedded, if you think about embedded development, of course, for that as well, I would recommend participating the Qt for Python webinar and learning more on that, and then of course continue dialogue there. So I'm sure that will provide a lot of answers that you now have related to Python.
Yeah, another question: whether Qt Remote Objects is now integrated with the Visual Studio plugin, because it apparently wasn't working in the preview. My answer there is very simple. Please test. If it's not working, let us know and file a bug report, and we'll do our best to get it fixed as quickly as possible. But I myself don't know.
Yeah, we have still time for a couple of questions. If you have any, there are a few more in the here that we can answer. But keep typing, and then we'll close the webinar in a while. Yes. So there's a question about, are there GPU optimizations in Qt 5.12? So basically yes, to the view that how we use GPU, yes. Of course, the GPU code and the drivers and things like that are hardware specific, but how we use it, how Qt Quick and Qt 3D runs in a GPU have been optimized quite a lot in 5.12.
Yes. Another question around the image formats. I would have expected that with 16-bit color channels, there's also an image format for grayscale 16. Will it come later? The answer is yes. There's currently a patch pending for Qt 5.13 on code review that adds that support, and I expect that to be ready in time for 5.13.
Then we have a question about, is QML intended to replace Qt widget? So the answer is no, not directly. If you create an application for desktop that is static and benefits of a UI created with Qt widgets, so basically traditional desktop UI, that is fully supported and is going to be supported in the future as well. However, if you want to create a UI that is more dynamic, fluid, touch-based, runs across various different devices, screen sizes, mobile, desktop, embedded, for that purpose, QML is a better fit. So from our viewpoint, there's no direct plan to replace any with any, but depends on what you want to create. One technology might be better than the other.
Yeah, I mean, just to make that very clear, we have no intentions of deprecating Qt widgets at any point in the future. They're fully supported. We have them there, but depending on your use case, QML might be a better fit, or Qt widgets might be the better fit. So it's something that really depends on the use case and what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Then for the final questions, there was, does Qt Creator fully support Python? Well, no, not fully. You can do Python more and more with each version of Creator, but it will definitely be improving in the future. But you can already now start. There's a language server support for Python highlighting and things like that, and we intend to develop that further in the coming releases of Qt Creator. I think this is pretty much it. Are there any? I think there was a few other questions, but we are running out of time now for the webinar. So I guess it's time for the saying from our viewpoint, saying thank you, and the future is written with Qt.
Thank you very much, everybody, for listening.
Yes, thank you for your great webinar, and thank you for joining. Like Tuukka said, that's all we have time for today. But if you have any more questions we didn't go through, please send us an email at info@qt.io. We'll answer them for you. But until next time, wish you a great day. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you and bye-bye.